Do you have a clip?
Thank you, ma'am.
Is it going to fall? All right. No, you're good. We're ready? Everybody's ready? All right. Good afternoon. Again, thank you to the media for coming out. I want to welcome you all here. Also members of the Parish Council who are here, and our interim superintendent, Corey Butler, for joining us this afternoon. We want to continue to thank all of our parish officials, first responders, everyone on the front line, medical professionals for their service to St. John. Today, LDH is reporting 704 cases of coronavirus in the parish and 57 deaths, and those are the most recent new numbers. To date, 59 residents of the Southeast Louisiana Veterans Home have tested positive for coronavirus. There are 49 still pending test results. 22 have passed away. 30 residents are being cared for in the facility. 7 are still being treated in hospitals, and 5 have recovered and are doing well. Coronavirus testing is still taking place weekly at Ochsner and Laplace. They have conducted 253 tests to date. Tesh Action and Edgard, they have conducted 48 tests to date. The Wallace Fire Station mobile testing site has conducted 85 tests to date, and Walmart has conducted 127 tests to date. Belterre Urgent Care has conducted 209 tests to date, and also the facility in Gramercy, the FEMA facility, has tested 86 residents from St. John. We just got some of this information that testing will be suspended tomorrow due to inclement weather at all of the sites, except for, I haven't gotten confirmation from the Walmart site. We're waiting to hear from them, but we have received word from those testing sites that because of the possible inclement weather, they will suspend their testing. The urgent care will still be open. Testing allows us to make informed decisions as we go forward. We are also in constant communication with our school officials, and we want to extend a congratulations to all of our seniors and those who have had their semesters come to a halt. We are proud of you, and we will celebrate with you in the future. Before we talk about our path forward, I will allow Mr. Corey Butler, who is the interim school superintendent for St. John Parish Public Schools, to give us an update on our school situation.
Thank you, Parish President, Ms. Hotard. Since the governor's proclamation to close schools on March the 13th, we at St. John the Baptist Parish School System have been working very diligently in ensuring that we continue to provide learning opportunities for our students. In doing so, when the governor did close schools, we actually had learning resources posted on our district website. I do ask that parents continue to visit our district website and our school websites as we are continuing to work with students and their parents so that they can remain engaged. We know that the work that we do right now is definitely going to be something that is going to play a role upon reentering schools, upon this pandemic hopefully coming to an end real soon. There are several things that we have installed in moving our school district forward. Certainly, one of the most important things is the safety and well-being of our students and our families and our teaching and faculty and staff. And so we do have plans to have all of our buildings sanitized, all of our sites sanitized, no later than June the 2nd. We do have a plan in place. That plan will be implemented beginning next week. And so each site will be sanitized. We do, for those parents that do not have access to internet access or to any devices, we encourage them to contact their school principal. You can do that via email. We have conducted technological surveys to see which students, which parents, which families actually have access, and we are doing our best to ensure that there's equity and access when it comes to continuing education. So we're going to continue to fight as we navigate our way through this pandemic, and certainly, the educational opportunities for our students I can't even begin to describe, the significance of it. It's unfortunate that we did have to close schools, as we would like to also celebrate our seniors. And certainly I know that there are a lot of questions that surrounding graduations. And as it stands, we do want to celebrate. At this point in time, graduations have been postponed, but we look to plan to have some type of celebration in the near future. But I do encourage parents to reach out to us here at the school board. You may contact me via email. We do have our email addresses that are on our site. If you have any questions about anything, please contact us. We're going to do our best as we navigate, as stated, through this pandemic. And we know that, more heads are better than one. And certainly we don't have all the answers, but we know that if we work through this together, as we have been, we can get through this particular this pandemic. So the state of the school system, we're in good shape. We're continuing to work, and we continue to put the students' best interests first. More importantly, we need the support of everybody, and most importantly, the parents. You guys play a significant role in the success of your children, and we want to be a part of that. At this point in time, I'm going to pass the mic back to President Hotard, and again, reach out to us at the school board. Any questions about anything, any part that has to do with our buildings, the educational opportunities of our students, guys, we're going to be more than willing to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Butler, for that update. And just to let you know, and I know I speak on behalf of my office and the council's office, whatever plans you have as it relates to graduation and celebrating our students, please let us know. And we're going to support the efforts of our seniors and all of our students right along the way with you. As it relates to our path forward, I understand the desire to get back to business as usual, but the health and safety of our community has been and always will be our #1 priority. I will not make any decision based on gut or instinct. I will act on science and defer to our health experts. I implore your patience while we navigate through this unprecedented disaster that has viciously attacked our small community. It would be irresponsible to randomly choose a date that we can fully reopen our doors. As our governor stated, it is not a light switch, but a detailed and data-driven approach, most likely in phases, on getting back to the new normal. I want to impress upon our residents that when we do open back up, coronavirus will not simply be gone. We will still need to proceed if coronavirus is the real threat that it is. I'm asking all of the residents of St. John and everywhere, get comfortable with wearing a mask. I know at times it's definitely can be an uncomfortable thing, but get comfortable with wearing your mask, even if it's putting it on at home. This will be the new normal, making sure that you protect yourself and protect everyone in your household and protect other residents. Constantly wash our hands. Everything that we're doing now in the stay-at-home order, even when we do open back up in phases, this will be the new normal because we know coronavirus is not just simply disappearing, right? We're working on flattening the curve, but we have all of the data in front of us that shows that there is community spread, that coronavirus is a vicious disease, killing 57 of our St. John residents, many of them who are at our war veterans' home. And so we will have to proceed in this new normal as if we are still under all of the restrictions we were once under. We will have to continue social distancing. I know everyone is tired of hearing that, but that's also the new normal. Wherever you are in public spaces, even when businesses do open back up, be mindful of social distancing, especially when we go back to our friends and family who have underlying risk factors. We know what those risk factors are. They've been identified. So if we have these risk factors, it will be incumbent upon us to take extra care, even as we start to open back up, that we protect ourselves and that we also protect those that we know have these underlying risk factors. I want to thank the residents and businesses who have been doing their part so we can get through this as quickly and as safely as possible. No one wants to open up, probably more than all of us. But what good would be flipping the switch and getting back to business as usual if the health and safety of our community is at risk? If you are sick, and you're in the hospital on a ventilator, every business being open in St. John overnight is of no moment to you. And we must proceed with all of the residents of St. John the Baptist Parish in our best interests. And that is what I will do. Again, these decisions will not be on gut or instincts. It will be on science. Please continue to follow the parish on social media, our website at sjbparish.com, our government access channel. Sign up for parish alerts. Call our office anytime during regular business hours. We're still open. We're issuing permits. We're doing all of those things. 652-9569. If you need to get in touch with the council, you can do that at council@stjohn-la.gov. We are here and we are working continuously, daily, for the residents of St. John Parish. At this time, if there are any questions, we will open that up for myself or even for Mr. Butler, interim school superintendent.
Is there any update on the curfew currently in place here? Would that be lifted at some point, or is that going to still continue
I believe the curfew is still in place. I haven't gotten any information from the sheriff that the curfew has been lifted. I believe, at the time that he believes it's appropriate, he will lift that curfew. That will come from his office.
You talked about reopening in phases. Is that what you plan to do?
Yes, what we will do, just as the governor said, right, this won't happen overnight. And we know that if we just open overnight, it would be grossly irresponsible on our part. It will have to be done in phases. And it will be done in phases with the science, right? Not on gut or instincts or what feels good. We all want to get back to normal. All of us. Everybody standing here. The media, council, myself, everyone. We want to get back to business as usual, but we know that we have an invisible threat out there, and the name's coronavirus. And it's killing the residents of St. John at a disproportionate number. And so we must take every step and behave as if we have a serial killer on the street that we cannot see. We must behave that way. So it will be a phased-in approach. And like I said, we will lean on those health experts. I'm in constant communication with Dr. B, with everyone from state health officials, because we want to act on science, not just what feels good. We know that if we do just what probably feels normal to us, it's going to cause us some harm. And like I said, what good is every business being open and just being back to normal if you're on a ventilator?
You mentioned a disproportionate impact on the parish. How troubling is this for you? Are you reaching out to any agencies outside of the state, assistance, that kind of thing, to try to maybe get a grasp on why you guys are feeling this is part of it?
We are in contact with those officials. The biggest number that we've had is in our war veterans home. We know we have 22 of our 57 individuals that have passed away there. We still have high number. Our rates are still high, but if we subtract that, 27 from the 57 we have, but we also have disproportionate numbers of the risk factors, right? Diabetes, obesity, all of these things are attacking our state. That's why I'm in constant contact with all of our health experts, because when this is over, and it's important, I'll point out at our TESH Action Clinic, one of our clinics, Dr. Wiltz, who's the CEO of TESH, he was really excited because they saw 23 new patients who weren't patients of that facility, that they can start to just receive primary health care, right? We know that after we get through coronavirus, the next component of this is going to be an education component on making sure that our communities are healthier overall, so that when we do get faced with the next disease, whether it's coronavirus or what's next, that we are healthy and that we are prepared to deal with that. And so that will be our focus once we get past this, on how do we ensure that our communities are healthier so that we can face what's next.
Are you satisfied with the amount of testing that's going on now, and can you also put into words why testing is so important?
Yes, we are satisfied. As I said before, we've got 6 or 7, 8 testing sites in our vicinity. No cost to the parish residents. You can get tested for free. It doesn't cost you anything. Drive-through testing, you don't have to get out of your car. It's been available for weeks. I'm satisfied with the numbers because we've actually seen the demand for testing decrease. When we started some of these drive-through sites, we had some pent-up demand. So, for example, the first day at our Oshner site, They tested 86 people. The next day it was down to 25. So we knew that we were meeting the demand of our residents, and we continued to add testing, right, to our capacity to continue to meet the demand of our residents on East Bank and West Bank. What was the second part of your question? Yeah. Right, testing is important because it lets us know what our next step should be. If the numbers are flattening, if we're actually seeing spikes, you know, testing doesn't cure coronavirus, but it's part of the foundation of our roadmap on how we move forward so that we can determine just how much coronavirus is spreading in our community, if it is still spreading, so that we can see the fruits of all of our stay-at-home measures. So it's very important.
I know like Jefferson Parish and a few of the other, area parishes have talked about May 1st being a date when they would like slowly start seeing some more businesses reopen, that sort of thing. I know you said in phases. Is that a date that you're shooting for, or do you still think that is too early, I guess?
We're shooting for what's going to be in the best interest of St. John Parish, you know, and as I said before, to put a date on it would be irresponsible on our part. Whether that is May 1st, that we start to slowly relax restrictions, I'm not sure, but it will definitely be a well thought out, data-driven, on science and not gutter instincts approach, and we will closely follow our medical professionals every step of the way and our business community on how they can transition into the new normal as well, because the new normal for businesses will be having social distancing guidelines in place for their own businesses. And I think it would be incumbent upon them to adopt the strictest measures that they can, because if we do start to slowly reopen and numbers increase, I can assure you that another stay-at-home order is going to be down the road. So we will all have to come together as one parish, as one state, as one country to practice all of the safety measures in place. After this long, some of this should have been a routine, have become a routine, so that we don't get to where we were before. Because losing a life, you cannot undo that. You cannot replace the loss of life. And that is the most important thing to us right now.
Well, my team and I.
Oh, Mr. Butler, sorry.
Excuse me.
And I touched on it.
That's okay. Repeat your question, please.
Can you explain a little bit what are the expectations for seniors when it comes to the senior projects that have been assigned and how they can find some more guidance from the superintendent?
Well, when we created the senior projects, it's not the senior projects as we have known it to be or to exist in the past, which was done in traditionally in our English 4 classes. These are more or less senior assignments. And one of the things that we have to do upon determining whether or not a student is proficient or not is to determine, is to have them to display that in 2 forms. One, it being an oral presentation, and 2, it would be in a written presentation. We do have guidance that is placed up on our district website. However, as a part of this, we also have our special education teachers working with our regular education teachers to ensure that not only our regular education students are being worked with collaboratively with their teachers, but we also minimize the number of projects that have to be completed with our special education population just as well. Again, this is an effort to ensure that there's equity and access. As far as guidance, then that is being done on an as-needed basis. Students have the ability to be able to reach out to their teachers. Not every student has to complete a senior project. For instance, if a student is a dual enrolled student, they don't have to complete a senior project at all. And as you know, it varies with our seniors. Some of our seniors have 4 classes, had 4 classes. Some don't, some only had 2. And so there is a possibility that all seniors won't have to complete that. I know that in some of our CTE classes, just like nursing, they won't have to complete a senior project in that class. So as far as the clarity, we've met with our school administrators. We've met with our curriculum team, and we do a conference call every week, to whereas if there is any confusion, then they have to report out, and we try to clear up that on a need-to basis. As far as access, again, to computers, we have done surveys. We actually surveyed our students at both high schools prior to the closing of schools to see who had access to internet and a computer. And for those students that completed the survey, which we had 90% completion, by the way, for those students that completed, we were able to address them. We had over 90% of our students that actually, not at least at a minimum of 90% of our students that actually had access to internet and a computer. For those students who did not complete the survey, we actually mailed out packages to them from both high schools. For those students who did not have access, the same was done. And so they have their contact information in terms of who they need to contact in reference to those teachers. And in moving forward, those assignments will be graded, and transcripts will be finalized, as well as diplomas will be certified. At this point in time, there are so many uncertainties, but we recently received guidance from the State Department of Education 2 weeks ago on this particular endeavor, and we were actually prepared ahead of time, and we were able to push forward this particular endeavor just as soon as we got the clearance to do so. Just recently, just for our students that are in kindergarten through 11th grade, we just recently received guidance in terms of how to possibly finalize their grades. And that information is going to be forthcoming, as we will also place on our district websites and school websites in our FAQ section. And in moving forward, the goal is not to hurt any student, but most importantly, the work that we do now, we know that it's going to be significant in terms of where students are going to be beginning when we do have the opportunity to re-engage. So currently, we are actually developing a plan for student re-engagement once we are able to physically go back into the buildings. But life as we know it right now has been done, as it was stated earlier, remotely. And that is something that is our new norm as we speak. So we're vamping up our efforts to make sure that we are able to address the needs of our students, because internet and computers shouldn't be a barrier to continue providing educational opportunities for our students.
Thank y'all. Thank you very much. Thank you.